and I'm going to turn it over to you, Kelsey.
All right. Well, thanks, Aubrey, and also thanks to Impact Norwood for giving me the opportunity to come on and speak with you all within the Norwood community as well as across the country. So again, my name is Kelsey. I am a registered dietitian for Norwood Public Schools, where I'm through Chartwell's K-12, so we operate through the food service department. So for today's webinar, we are, of course, talking about food for thought and how certain foods can boost our moods. Arguably, maybe even more important during these times right now. So today, I hope that I can provide you with some tips and some recommendations of what you can apply at home to focus on that nutrition and well-being for you and your household. So just as a reminder, we talked a little bit about the chat box where you can type in your questions. We're at the end. We can answer some of your questions that you might have if time still allows. I'm going to be asking you guys some questions. So you can type in your answers when I ask you those questions as we go through the presentation. So a little background with food for thought and kind of how it came about. In Norwood with our public school district, we implemented a program called Mood Boost. And this program, it actually is a Chartwell's K-12 program that occurs in, there's numerous districts around the country that implemented it this year. It's a brand new program for us where it's really teaching kids about that connection between the foods that they eat and how it can positively impact their moods. So far this school year, it was a program that was extremely well received, where we traveled through all the elementary schools, and we want to keep that momentum going during your time at home, not even for your kids, but yourself, and some takeaways you can take away yourself. So emerging research, of course, what it shows that the foods that we eat most often may have an effect on how we feel, even if that's physically, but even now more so mentally is what they're finding. So they're finding that the more people eat these mood boosting foods regularly, especially when it comes to those nutrient-rich fruits and vegetables, and we think all of those different colors of those fruits and vegetables, it can help elevate his or her mood to enhance that sense of well-being that one experiences. These mood boosting foods, they might contain those vitamins, those minerals, those antioxidants, which really in themselves, they all play an important different role with the communication to our brain and throughout our bodies. And they bring about characteristics such as those feelings of being happy and smart, or feeling calm or alert or strong, even confident. These are some other ones, and we'll go through all of these too so you guys can get an idea as to what foods actually help boost those certain moods. So I do want to say, just as a disclaimer to keep in mind, especially with what we hear in the news and with fad diets out there, that just eating foods like this once or twice or even 5 times is not going to instantly impact our moods, and it's not going to make a difference to that extent. Yes, over time, with the balance of making sure half of our plates are fruits and vegetables, making sure that we get those 5 food groups, that in itself definitely has a positive effect on our health and well-being. But if you're dealing with medical conditions or any other clinical conditions, eating these foods isn't going to miraculously cure these situations going on. But in the end, whether that means you're incorporating some of your current favorites in your household, or well as maybe trying something new or unfamiliar as to what we go through, really the goal is just to keep you and your family healthy while bringing that excitement to the kitchen. So let's get into it, I guess. So what are some mood boosting foods that can be incorporated to help positively change your mood? And what you'll see too as we go through these 6 different moods, that you're going to recognize a lot of these foods, they are interchangeable between each mood. So, and really in itself, that's kind of a hint to us too that it's all about balance and incorporation of a variety of these foods often, because they're important for us. So our first mood that I want to talk to us about today is alert. So alert, we want to think of those foods where they help to keep our brain energized. It improves our focus and our concentration over time. And the nutrients that are key in these foods would be your antioxidants, folate, and lutein are just a couple of them that we could highlight, where they're powerful in themselves because what they do is they help bring that oxygen and they transport it to our brain. They maintain that brain clarity, and in turn, it improves our brain function overall. So my first question to you is, when you think about alert, what foods do you think helps with those feelings of alert? Go ahead and give you maybe about 15, 20 seconds to type in a food that you think helps with those feelings of being alert. Coffee, yes. I would understand that, yep. Blueberries, protein, okay. Maybe just a couple more seconds. Bananas, all right. There's some good answers on here. Almonds, ooh, peppermint tea. Okay. So I definitely would understand your answers. And maybe not necessarily coffee, but I like with this one, dark chocolate is one of them. So I guess any excuse for us to have chocolate right now is a great excuse, right? So dark chocolate, which I recommend, for me personally, I like it if it's like 75% or higher because it's a little more high quality of chocolate, has more of those antioxidants that help improve that brain function. Some other ones on the list would be watermelon, we have carrots, Brussels sprouts, and even apples too. So these are just some examples of those that would help with alert, even though the list honestly could go on with some of these nutrients that we find. Let's just make sure we didn't have any more. Chocolate, yes, that's right. Okay. So next we will move on to our calm foods, which I think arguably right now we could all use some of that calm feeling, especially being cooped up in our houses with everybody in the house with us right now. So what these nutrients do in these foods is they help improve that sense of relaxation, those feelings of stress and anxiety, they kind of help diminish those. So some of the key nutrients that come to focus with these is your magnesium, potassium, and even vitamin C are just some examples. And what these nutrients do is they actually help to de-stress. So they help to protect our body cells from damage, which in turn helps promote those feelings of calm. So again, I will ask you, as I give you this description, what do you think are some foods that help promote those feelings of being calm? Any guesses? Ooh, chickpeas. More bananas. Okay, carbs, oranges. Oh, getting some good ones on here. All right, so some of you definitely were on the right track. We have broccoli is one. We have black beans and legumes. So when we said chickpeas, that's a part of our legume family. So very good. So I mean, like bananas, they do have potassium in them. I would say actually that our bananas, they have a lower level of potassium than even some of our other fruits and vegetables. So it probably still would be on that list of containing those vitamins. But strawberries is one, sweet potatoes, and spinach. So we have potatoes on there as well from Aubrey. So yeah, very good. All right. So moving on to our next mood, where this mood, I like to think of it as it's kind of an indirect mood, where these foods, they're abundant in those nutrients. They help protect our skin and our hair from the damage that comes from the sun and the environmental exposures that we face every day. So in the end, if we look good, we feel better about ourselves, right? So it's a boost of confidence for us. And with these key foods, the nutrients that we would find in these, it's a plethora of different vitamins. So we got our vitamin A, we got our vitamin C, and we got our vitamin E. And these really help to reduce that damage to our hair and our skin and our nails to help with the growth of our body tissues. So what foods do we think help boost confidence? Give you a couple minutes or a couple moments. I love seeing all your responses, by the way. I have no citrus. All right, so kind of on the right track. The top ones on my list, we have avocados. All right, so avocados are one of those. We have kale, so even to some of those other dark green, leafy green vegetables would fall under that category. Zucchini, pumpkin even, because pumpkin, it's rich in vitamin C and it has those antioxidants which helps with the healthy skin. And then green cabbage is another one because it actually has the benefits to maintain that healthy skin as well. You guys are definitely on the right track, though. You're warming up. I like it. Okay. Moving on to SMART. So these foods, they have nutrients. They support your brain function to its fullest potential, to even help improve the memory over time. So these are super important for that piece. They're foods. They contain antioxidants, iron, and another mineral called manganese, which this actually is a purpose to help transport that oxygen to our brain. It protects that mental function, and it actually keeps our brains functioning to their best potential. So, any guesses on some of those foods that help promote those feelings of being smart? Okay, we got spinach, blueberries. Ooh, eggs, interesting, yeah. Fish. All right, very good. Avocados, got quite a variety. So with this one, we do have some blueberries on our list, where with the blueberries, they're one of those highest level antioxidants. So think too, they're just that super dark blue color, and think too even those like your reds, your dark reds and your dark colored vegetables. So even like your beets and your beets, look at that. All of those different colors that we would find, those really rich colors, those ones have those antioxidants that are important. Pineapple is one because it has manganese, which helps regulate the brain activity. And we have our kidney beans and legumes again, which you'll see as we talked about with our trends, as to seeing some of these come up on our different moods. And winter squash is another one as well. So we have two more to go. So this one, I always found this one to be a fun one when we were talking with the kids about it in schools, but even too, just thinking how we can build strength for ourselves with those foods that promote being strong. So helping to promote those strong bones and those muscles. These foods, they contain vitamins and minerals such as your vitamin C, zinc, and even carbohydrates. So those are some nutrients to point out, definitely a couple others. These foods, they give us energy, of course, because they are a good source of carbohydrates, and they bring oxygen to our muscles to help with building strength, and they increase that blood flow to our muscles as well. So what do we think would be some examples of those foods that are for strong? And those feelings to help us build muscle and strong bones. Okay. Good answers. Quite a variety up here. I love it. So yeah, we got some beans and legumes up there because they're starchy, so they have all of that energy, makes them a good complex carbohydrate, some nutrients we need. Beets is another one that we can have on this list. Cranberries, so thinking about these, they're an excellent source of vitamin C, so they help with transporting that oxygen. And Swiss chard, so even too, thinking some of those other dark green leafy vegetables would fall under this category too, where they help enhance that exercise endurance. So our last but not least, mood. This one right here, happy. Again, I feel like the same as with calm. It could be one of those moods that we really could probably use a little extra boost of right now, where it helps to create those feelings of joy and happiness with these foods. These nutrients in these foods, some to highlight would be magnesium, folate, potassium, and they've been shown to fight off those negative feelings, and they also elevate our moods by they fight those cellular conditions that might be associated with depression. So kind of interesting with this one, how it impacts our mood. So last but not least, what foods do you think boosts those feelings of happiness? Dark chocolate, love it. Just like the coffee. Grapes, ooh, fermented in wine, yes. Any others? Last moment. Asparagus. Nice. Okay, again, you guys had some great guesses. Quinoa, ooh, yes. And that's the thing too, like, asparagus is definitely, I think we should just add asparagus onto it. And really, in the end, arguably, it could be any fruit or vegetable or food that makes us happy when we eat it, right? We could add it to the happy category. But some of the foods that have those specific minerals and vitamins, we have our chickpeas and legumes. We have cantaloupe, so any of our cantaloupe lovers out there, tomatoes, sweet peppers, and potatoes are some examples. So again, it's not an extensive list, but that kind of gives you an idea. So there are our 6 moods that really, when you think about it, again, it's all about balance, and it kind of gives you an idea as to how each color, whatever that fruit or vegetable is made up of, how it impacts certain moods as to how we feel. So what I have for you now, I'm going to do a little recipe demo for us now with a, it uses some household ingredients. I know right now we're kind of limited as to what we can go out and get, as well as maybe using up some of those pantry items that we really may not be using too much of right now. So this recipe right here has a key mood boosting ingredient that we're going to get to. And I know we're a couple days late on this, but this recipe is, I guess, a belated Cinco de Mayo celebration where we're going to be making some guacamole. Does anybody want to take a guess as to what they think the key mood boosting ingredient is in our guacamole? Ooh, chocolate. Any other guesses? Love it. All right, so, okay, kale, all right. So even though now I really just want some chocolate, our key mood boosting ingredient is actually peas. So I'm going to show you all of our ingredients first of all. But when we think about it, guacamole, traditionally guacamole, we would use avocados, of course, but it's a little costly, especially right now, and two, even just having that accessibility of it being in the household, where this recipe, guacamole, it's a huge hit with our school districts across the country for Chartwell's K-12. Students love this recipe, so I say don't knock it till you try it, but kids, they love it on like our taco bars, our salad bars, putting it in a wrap on a sandwich. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to learn about this, and we'll send out the recipe for you to have later. So those peas, I know they're a tough one to eat. They're a starchy veggie. It's tough for us to get kids to eat starchy veggies, and we ourselves, it's like, how often do we eat peas? Maybe not too often. So it's an easy way to use up that frozen bag of peas that you might have in your freezer, might be collecting ice chips, you might be using it as an ice pack. So it's perfect chance to try something new. So peas, when we talked about our beans and legumes, peas are a part of the legume family. So our peas, what they do is they help with that strength piece because they have that energy with them being a complex carbohydrate. And they have those feelings of joy and happiness with magnesium is one of the nutrients that's in it that really helps with making us boost our moods with feeling happy. So I'm going to kind of rotate my screen a little bit so we can get to the recipe. So I'm going to kind of go through each piece, and I just have my counter set up to where we're going to go through it. So we got our peas, all right? So I would recommend, as mentioned, doing it with frozen peas, but I defrosted them so they're not frozen anymore, okay? So I measured it out. We got a ½ cup of peas. Next on our list is we have lemons. So we have some lemons in our house where if you don't have fresh lemons, you can do even concentrated lemon juice, where you would do half of the amount of what we would be doing in this recipe. Next, we have cumin, all right? So we're going to put a little cumin in here for some spice, which I also portioned out. And then we have some garlic powder, our massive thing of garlic powder in the house. We love garlic here, so got that, portioned that out. And then the last thing we're going to add to it is some salsa. So I portioned this out as well. We got about a ¼ cup of salsa. So you can really use any kind of salsa that you want. If you like it hot, using more spicy salsa. So this is just what we had in our pantry to use. So I'm going to add it into a blender, which you can use any kind of blender. What I have here, it's kind of similar to a Ninja Bullet. So I got my little container, got my blade, all right? So we are going to start filling in our ingredients into the cup. So we got our peas. I'm going to add our peas. Maybe we can have even a belated Taco Tuesday. Have this for your Taco Thursday even. Making some guacamole. All right, next we are going to do our lemon juice. So with lemon juice, what I do, and it's kind of, I guess, interesting to see what people use in their own house. But so I have a strainer so I don't get the seeds in my juice, and I'm just gonna put it into my liquid measuring cup. A couple more. I'm going to try to do about a ¼ cup of this. So our lemons, of course, are also an excellent source of vitamin C. Maybe do about a ¼ of another one. All right, got that. Gonna add our lemon juice. Take this out of the way. Next, we're gonna add our garlic powder, our cumin. Last but not least, our salsa. Gonna mix it all in. Throw the cap on and blend it up. Excuse the noise. And you might find with some of these immersion blenders that we have to shake it up a bit. All right, I think we're good to go. So, as I divvy this out, got our guacamole. Put it in a little container. So with this one too, what I've found when I've made it at home, I sometimes go a little less on the lemon juice, but if you like the real tart flavor, you can up the lemon juice a little bit. But here you have it. We have some guacamole, all right? I guess, again, kind of looks like guacamole, right? can pair it with some tortilla chips. Like I said, you can even put it on a wrap or a salad or a sandwich, whatever you feel. Dip it with some veggies, and there you have it. So great recipe to try at home, a great one to get your kids to try if we have kids at home, where it's a good example of how we can be telling kids and even ourselves thinking of food differently and how it helps, you know, improve that mood, and how it helps with this one. Like, yeah, let's eat some foods that make us feel good and make us feel happy and give us strength with the carbohydrates that it has. So that's what I have for you guys. Guess we can take some time if we want. Aubrey, do you want to do some questions if we have any?
Yeah, if folks have any questions, you can go ahead and type those into the chat box. I actually have a question for you, and I'm probably not going to say this correctly, but I see a lot of places like all this hype around acai. Am I saying that correctly? Do you think that's like a fad fruit or vegetable? What even is it?
So it's a type of berry. And I think the thing is with it, just like if we were to hear about like pomegranate juice or those really deep, rich colored berries, as they have a lot of antioxidants in them. So they're seen as like that superfood. So, I mean, definitely very good for us, but it falls along the same lines where we don't want to be, if we eat only the type of berry that you're talking about, which honestly, I can't. But I know it's like ACAI or AI, but by just eating that, it's not going to keep us from getting heart disease. It's not going to keep us from having those health conditions. So same kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is very good for you. Any other questions?
And if folks want to ask a question verbally, you can take yourselves off mute. We'll give it a second, but no one has any questions. I guess we can end it. Just want to say a huge thank you to Kelsey for doing this. We really appreciate it. And we'll have the recording up on the Impact Norwood website. Oh, looks like we have. Oh, thank you. Teresa says thank you. We'll have the recording of this up on the Impact Norwood website. And Kelsey, I would love to share the recipe on the website too, if we could do that with the video.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So if there are no questions, thank you all for joining. Yes, it does look good.
Yeah, go try that guacamole. I'm telling you, the kids love it. So
I think I'm gonna have to try it. We definitely have a bag of frozen peas in our freezer. Yeah. I feel like everybody does.
That bag of frozen peas.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. And I hope you all have a great night and a good weekend.
Yes, thank you all. Have a good night.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Bye.
Bye.
Exactly. I wanted to see.